What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Been getting a whole bunch of different requests and people asking me on what it takes to convert something into a three-wheeler, be it a dirt bike, a quad, something. They want to build three-wheelers. People want to build three-wheelers, so we're going to start a small little series. It's probably going to have a couple, three videos to it on what to look for, how to do it, best things to do, what to look out for, all kinds of different pieces of information that help build three-wheelers. Now, you can go dirt bike, you can go quad. They both ride differently. They both sit differently. Dirt bikes happen to have a taller seat to foot peg height than the quads do. If you convert a quad to a three-wheeler, it feels more natural like a three-wheeler. Dirt bikes seem to sit a little bit higher, and people have serious rake issues with the dirt bike conversions. Behind me is a KTM 450 Supermoto that I converted into a three-wheeler. This is a street legal three-wheeler that Tony raced motocross with. Won a couple of races with it. Now he wants to go street legal with it so he can ride it more often. Loves this thing. He's got over 20 grand wrapped up into it. Yeah, they can get expensive, but they don't have to. You can build a trike on a budget. Here's how we're going to get to it. First things first, you want to pick a frame. Most of these quad frames, as you can see, have two bars. The tank sits in between them. Some of them are spread further than others. Or you can start with a dirt bike. Basically, you need to start with a frame. Do you want to kickstart it? Do you want electric start? Do you have a dirt bike? Do you have access to a quad? Questions are, what are you personally looking for? You start with a frame. And then you get you a set of triple clips. Figure out if you want to go conventional forks or you want to go aftermarket plates with something modern. This is a Warrior. I've got the stem kind of figured out. This is just mocked up. But this was a Warrior that we're turning into a three-wheeler. And what I don't like is on the Warrior, the tank sits up forward, which is going to hit the triple clamps. So this bar here, I'm going to turn around and back here, put a single tube up with a saddle dirt bike tank. These saddle bars are a lot easier to mount a gas tank with shrouds that will cover the motor. This seat pan is a quad and dirt bike combination. Custom foam, custom cover, but I blend the dirt bike and quad seats. You can see on this Warrior frame where I cut it back. This is the front motor mount. And all that got fabricated. This is just so that I can adjust the neck and make sure everything is set like I need it to. And like I said, this bar is going to be getting cut back and it's getting a center tube. So all this is going away. This is the neck off of a Z. That's all I kept. You need a swing arm and a subframe. This is a custom subframe that accepts the quad plastics. And this is a custom swing arm that I built specifically for this build. Now, I have found that the 300EX 350X carrier is the skinniest carrier. You want skinny carrier so that your chain lines up. This is the KX 450 that I built with the custom swing arm. But it's a 300EX 2+. So you got the skinny carrier and it mounts and everything up front. Everything mounts correctly. This is the KX subframe that was modified to accept quad plastics, quad seat, and dirt bike blended together. This is another dirt bike conversion. I used the KX forks with my triples, my swing arm, my bushings, the custom subframe. Sometimes you can, by all means, get a quad swing arm in there so that it all matches up nice. If you're converting a quad, This is a 250R. If you were to convert 250R, you need to look at where the motor sits, how the frame is designed, and basically you're gonna cut this before the motor so that you can run it all up and get the steering about where you want it. This is really long, 250Rs are short, so this is gonna be cut back, moving the whole everything back a little bit. Basically, this entire front end is gonna go away. This right here is what I cut off the Warrior. Steering stem, you can see how far back and everything I went. So with the swing arms, it's gonna be easier to fit a quad swing arm into something that's got a wider frame. Quads normally have fatter frames. Dirt bikes seem to be skinnier at the swing arm. So some swing arms will cross over, some swing arms will not cross over. 400EX, 300EX, 450ER tend to fit sometimes, but you're gonna need to do custom bushings also because the pivot bolts might be different. Delrin bushings are a very good substitute for the metal bushings. They might be plastic, but they work really well. All right, now that you've got all the basic stuff down, let's get into a little bit of the technical meat and potatoes of the build. We're going to talk about rake and trail, and there's going to be a bunch of pictures up here so that you can figure out how you want to do it and what you want to do. All the formulas and stuff will be right here, so pause as needed. But as you can see, frame angle, swing arm angle, and fork angle are all critical components. Fork and neck angle are also critical, because if you're raking it in the neck, like the 250R and the Tri-Z, where Yamaha and Honda actually push the front wheel out to help it steer better, easier, and track straighter. You've also got where the rake and trail is parallel. Basically, you're looking for application specific. Are you going to be drag racing or doing hill climbs? Are you going to be doing TT or flat track? Or are you going to be doing general riding or motocross application? For TT and flat track, you want the forks up and down and the wheelbase short. This will give you tighter steering, a little bit twitchier. You will get horn wobble bad, but it will make the bike handle and turn really quick. And opposite, if you push the wheel out further, it will track straighter, be less likely to want to turn, and you're going to have to force it around corners. You find a happy medium in between those two, and you've pretty much got general riding and motocross setup. There is a yes, it looks right factor. If you're putting the front end on and it looks like it's out too far, pull it in. If it looks like it's in too far, push it out. Adjust the neck and the stem with the forks. If you put the rake in the neck to pull the forks back, it will cause a hard steering issue. The bike will track straight as an arrow, but in order to turn it, you're going to have to put more force into the bars to get it to turn. It will turn better. It's kind of like having the TT set up. It turns sharper, it handles better, but it also tracks straight. And this picture here is my favorite one because you've got yes, yes, and no. And the no is exactly what Honda and Yamaha did. This is kind of comical because it says no, but it works really well. So application is a big key. We will get more into this in other videos. We're going to be diving in even further into more videos, getting a lot more technical on it. General idea though, set your frame level. Set your ride height. Put your swing arm in, put your forks on, and adjust everything to where you want them. Make sure the wheels are on it so it sits like you want it to. It's your build after all. Make it look as factory as possible. That is the idea. If it doesn't look like Honda or Kawasaki or Yamaha or Suzuki actually designed it, then go back to the drawing board and start again. The idea is to make it look as factory as possible. This video touched on applications, setup, and all that kind of stuff. We're going to get a little bit more in depth in other videos. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button if you're not following, bell notification so you know when to get videos, and We've got Discord. We're live streaming. I can help you guys diagnose problems, live stream. Done it before. It's always nice to talk to people that have similar interests. And if you got a bike problem, let me know. I'll help you out as best I can. Till next time, guys, I'll see you.